What happens when kids take over the streets? How did a loose group of teenagers from Atlanta evolve into the architects of smash and grab robberies, shootings, and cold-blooded murders? This is the story of 30 Deep, the underground teen gang that rewrote the rules of crime in Atlanta. In the mid-2000s, Atlanta streets witnessed a resurgence of gang culture. Older, freshly released gangsters, veterans of the crack-era wars of the 1990s, returned home to neighborhoods like Mechanicsville and Pittsburgh. Their stories of fast money and respect spurred on a new generation. 30 Deep was born, a group with no hierarchy and no rules. This wasn't a ragtag group stealing candy bars. 30 Deep hit big, smashing cars in the high-end stores like Saks and Nordstrom to steal designer goods and electronics. They didn't just rob, they terrified. One gang member shot a witness so badly, they lost their leg. Another tore ATMs from walls with stolen cars. At just 19, Jonathan Redding became the poster child for a generation lost to violence. His innocent, baby-faced look in court couldn't hide the crimes he'd done. In 2009, Redding was convicted for the murder of John Henderson, a beloved bartender at Stanford Food and Spirits in Grant Park. The robbery turned murder was senseless. Henderson, trying to defend himself, was shot in cold blood. Witnesses recalled the attack as swift, brutal, and unrelenting. Redding's tattoos emblazoned with 30 and a gun weren't just decorations. They were declarations of allegiance to a life of violence. Redding's cousin, Keon Redding, was even more notorious. Feared throughout Atlanta, Keon was the gang's de facto leader. Known for his violent temper, he didn't hesitate to eliminate threats, even using an AK-47 in one of his murders. Keon was known to eat dinner with the families of his victims. By 2011, Keon faced 2 life sentences plus 40 years. What made 30 Deep so difficult to stop? Unlike traditional gangs, they weren't tied to territories. They moved where the money was. Downtown Atlanta, suburban neighborhoods like Lawrenceville, even across state lines. Their structure, or lack of it, was their strength. Members drifted in and out, making it nearly impossible for police to pin them down. Even when members were caught, the justice system couldn't keep up. Overcrowded jails and backlog courts meant short sentences and quick releases. In 2009, 5 teens were arrested for smash and grabs. A year later, only one was still behind bars. For many teens, 30 Deep offered an escape from poverty. Flashy lifestyles, pockets full of cash, and stolen designer goods were symbols of success in Atlanta ghettos with few opportunities. One 16-year-old, arrested in 2010, admitted he joined because he wanted to make money fast. Acting as a lookout for an hour earned him $500. That's more than my mom makes in a week. The rise of 30 Deep wasn't just about crime. It was a symptom of systemic failure. Neighborhoods with no resources, families struggling to survive, schools unable to engage students, a justice system overwhelmed by the sheer volume of cases. OGs returning with tales of glory were the spark, but the real fire came from poverty, hopelessness, and neglect. Today, 30 Deep's reign has faded, but the scars remain. Neighborhoods are still rebuilding, families still grieving, and young lives still lost. Jonathan and Keon made choices that destroyed not only their own lives, but the lives of countless others. But their story is more than a cautionary tale. It's a warning. If the root causes are left unaddressed, there will always be another 30 Deep. Feel free to suggest a story you want to see using the link in the description. Also, 19XX is on Patreon, the tier for ad and sponsor-free content. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn your notifications on for future videos.